Alright, hey everyone, this is ESJ I'm a community live streamer for the new free-to-play game on Steam called Loadout. And, we'll bring up some stuff here real quick. That's free-to-play on Steam. Yeah, Steam. So go on Steam. If you got your Steam client, go on there. It's a free download. It's a free-to-play game. It's a PvP shooter. It's all about weapon crafting, creating your own unique weapons to destroy your teammates. Well, heal your teammates and destroy your enemies. But we'll get to some more of that here in a second. So basically what this game revolves around is a weapon crafting system. You basically can create your own weapons in this game. And there are literally billions of weapon combinations. So new players might don't know exactly where to go, what sort of weapons to build, what's good, what's not. That's where I come in. I've been playing this game for close to almost a year. I've been playing it about 9 months in the closed beta during Loadout's early access program. So I'm pretty knowledgeable of what is the really good deadly stuff. There's a lot of weapons in this game, but I know what is the stuff that is just gonna destroy your enemies, and they're not insanely difficult weapons to use either. They're not they're not the hardest guns in the game. There are definitely some difficult guns, but these ones that I'm going to show you are going to be pretty user friendly if you're new. And I've been streaming for the last week or so since Loadout's launch, and a lot of people have been coming by asking me Beefy, what's the good weapons? Beefy, show me that launcher. Beefy, what's that build? Show me the guns. And I'm like, okay, and I kind of show people over and over and over again the same stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down right now and do an official weapon build tutorial. So this is going to be my first episode of a series that I'm going to do called Weapon Crafting with Beefy. I'm going to be here streaming, and I'm going to keep, as I discover new weapons that I think are really worth sharing with the community, I'm going to do more videos about them. But this is going to be the start. This is where we're gonna start here, and I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite my favorite weapons and some of the best guns in the game. So here we go. Real quick, let me get my game going. We'll just go and click on this guy right here. Alright, so we're in game. So I'm going to go here over to the weapon crafting section. So as you see here, I already have some weapons built. And if you're brand new to the game, you may realize I also have a few additional weapon slots. Those I have gotten with space bucks. Space bucks are the currency that you get in game. And by no means is this game a pay-to-win game. This has got to be as far from a pay-to-win game as there has ever been. This game is completely skill-based. You can definitely, before a match starts, reconfigure your guns on the fly. So really, having extra loadout slots for weapons and loadouts is more of a convenience thing than necessarily a game-breaking competitive thing. You can definitely build weapons on the fly for certain situations, but it's always nice to have an extra loadout with a certain setup for a certain situation that you may come across. So I'm just going to jump right into this, and I'm going to talk about something that I like to call base weapons. And what some of these base weapons do, these are a good platform to combo with other guns. So one of my favorites right now, and I'm going to get a lot of questions and comments about what this is, and this is called a self-juicing gun. Basically, what self-juicing does is, we'll just go ahead and bring it up right here. Basically, what self-juicing is it's the ability to shoot at yourself. That was weird. It's the ability to shoot at yourself and actually buff yourself. Notice in the top left-hand corner of my screen, I have a yellow meter that's kind of overlapping my health bar. And, son of a gun. What's this? Alright, enough of the kinks. Alright, so back to the topic, self-juicing. So there's this launcher that I have set up so that as I fire the projectiles, which are normally these scuttles, which are basically these bomb chew-like projectiles that travel on the ground. And normally what you do with the juice payload is, you know, shoot them at your teammates, and you get what is called a kickback juicing. And what will happen is the juice meter that you see in the top left will go up as you, you know, help your teammates out. But you know, helping your teammates, who cares about that? Let's talk about, you know, making the weapon that you can juice yourself with and not really have to worry about supporting your teammates. So if you're like with one of those lone wolf guys that say, screw the team, they're not going to help much anyway, I'm going to just go and carry my team, you know, do as much damage as I possibly can, be as most powerful slayer as I possibly can. This is going to be a great tool for you guys. So what we got here is a self-juicer. Basically what juicing does is it increases your movement speed, reload, jump height, AoE radius, and rate of fire, and damage. Speed, did I cover everything? I think I covered everything. By 15%. So you get a 15% buff in damage, speed, and movement. All those stats get increased. Oh, and reload. You reload 15% faster as well. And so what this gun does is you use it not to damage your foes, but to shoot at yourself. You blow it up in your own face, basically using the manual detonate trigger, and you keep that orange juice meter in the top left full. And this is going to allow you to create weapons that normally wouldn't be as good by themselves, but when you self-juice, they actually become really powerful. Like, they become way better than what they just were before. As long as you have the micro, it can swap between weapons, keep your self-juice meter up, quick switch to a weapon, and then, you know, attack. So I think I might keep a little bit of juice meter. So yeah, so I was able to kill those enemies way faster because I still had a little bit of juice meter. And the thing about the juice meter is that as long as you have just a sliver of juice meter, you get that 15% bonus. So sometimes you don't really have to worry about always keeping the juice meter necessarily at full, like all the way up filled to the brim. You just need to keep your juice meter long enough to either give you that speed boost to get around the map faster, or to get that damage boost so you can attack your enemies with some extra damage, or reload your weapon faster. Like this weapon that I'm using has I believe it has a 3.6 second reload. That's really long. That's a really long time. So keeping a juice gun as a secondary is a really good tool to refill your clip if you have one of those really long reload guns. Want to do some extra damage, move around the map. Oh yeah, also it gives you 15% jump height. I forgot. That's another thing it does too. It gives you slightly higher jump. You don't have to do the roll jump animation. You don't have to do the roll to do the roll jump. You actually can just juice yourself, and you're constantly roll jumping. You constantly get that extra boost in jump height. So this is what I like to call like a base weapon. This is a gun that literally can pair with any other weapon. You can build any other type of gun in the game and pair it with this juice launcher, and it's going to work. It's going to be a really good combo. So that's the juice launcher. Another good base weapon is the healing rifle. And so there's healing in this game, sort of like similar to TF2. This game has a healing system, and also just like TF2, you receive kickback healing for when you heal your teammates. So notice as I'm healing this target, my health bar is also going up. And maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe I should show you how to build the juice launcher. Yeah. Doing this whole live recording thing, I'm kind of goofing up a little bit here. You lose. Good day, sir. Anyway, so yeah, let me show you the actual parts to the gun. Let me just get this out of the way so I can move on here to all the other stuff. But so basically how this gun is built is it's a semi-auto trigger, compact stock, although stock really isn't that important with your choice with launchers. Iron sights, obviously, because all these other things typically lower your damage or stats by some means. So you want to just stick to iron sights so you get the most benefit for each rocket. Improved tri-barrel for tri-barrel I feel like works the best. It has the most bang for the buck with the fastest reload. You could do things where, you know, pentabarrel or hexabarrel setups, but you notice the meter doesn't really go up that much higher than using a tri-barrel, and it takes time to kind of shoot the weapons at yourself and to reload the gun. So I usually like sticking with, actually let's just throw on Hex here real quick. Let's try it. Let me see here. Actually, maybe Hex Barrel is better. Maybe I'm just discovering some new stuff right now. Maybe Hex Barrel is the way to go with this self-juicer. Let me see here. Let me see here real quick. Let me see. Versus, let's say, with a tri-barrel. Wait for a meter to go back down. Maybe it actually goes up faster with the Hex Barrel.
You won! You did it! You did it! I knew you would! I just knew you would!
Yeah, it's really not that big a difference. But yeah, just showing you the difference between tri-barrel and Hex Barrel with the self-juicer. It's personal preference. You know, you can mess around with the different barrels, see which one you like the best. But I typically recommend using a multi-barrel launcher with semi-auto trigger. Scuttle and manual detonate. The manual detonate allows you to blow up the rockets on yourself, so you fill up your juice meter without actually having to shoot your enemies. You can just blow it up in your face, and you get the benefit of the juice. You don't have to. But you can't. It's actually really good to actually support your teammates with this gun as well, because then your juice meter fills up even faster. Like, it already fills up pretty fast, but watch how fast what happens if I juice 2 targets at the same time. Watch this. Hold on. So I have this juice gun. We have it, guys, right here. We go. Yeah, it's like it fills up my meter like instantly almost. Like, it's crazy how much it goes up when I'm actually healing a teammate. But yeah, this juice launcher is one of the base weapons I really recommend. You can pair this with any other type of gun, and it will augment your combat abilities. We'll just save that. All right. Now that we're back on track, let's go to our next gun, which will be the heal rifle. Now, healing is a very powerful thing in this game. It's just like I mentioned before. It's kind of like TF2's healing. It's you know, you heal your teammates and you receive a portion of that health back for yourself. And there's some different properties, some different methods of healing in this game. But this is another one of my base weapons because, like I said, you can pair this rifle with, say, you know, let me go back to my weapon screen. You can pair this weapon with, like, my rocket launcher or this pulse rifle or maybe this shotgun. Like, you can do, there's a lot of different hybrid builds you can do in this game. And keeping a heal rifle on hand is really a powerful tool because not only do you help your teammates, but you can be kind of selfish with it. So I'm kind of a selfish asshole when it comes to, you know, carrying and playing games when I play versus players. People are like, Beefy, you're such a kill farmer. You don't play the objective. And I say, you guys don't know what the heck you're talking about. But you know, you can be a little bit selfish in your healing and just heal your teammates. Just to keep yourself alive. So notice how fast my health bar goes up. A lot of things that's cool about this gun is it's sort of like a way of method. You don't really have to worry about getting health kits as much. Things like pyro and damage over time effects are much weakened when you have like a health rifle, but you're really dependent on being in line of sight with a teammate. You have to be in line of sight with a teammate in order to shoot at them so you can get your health up. But it's really amazing to be able to, you know, go around shooting, killing enemies. Oh no, I've taken damage, I need to get health back. Look for a buddy, start blasting him in the face with a heal rifle, and you start to heal yourself. So it's kind of a defensive weapon. It's powerful support. It's a really great method to keep your teammates alive. It helps your team. It's one of the best weapons in the game. So I'll show you how I build this gun. Basically, it's pretty basic. Aluminum stock, full auto trigger, standard magazine. I think you could maybe get away with using high capacity even if you really wanted to, just so you don't run out of ammo as fast. But of course, there is some drawbacks. Your kickback healing won't be as strong because it's percentage based off of your bullets. So high capacity will actually, although it will increase your magazine, it will lower your damage per bullet, which means you receive less kickback healing per bullet. So notice that only took 21 bullets to fill up my health. I think it would take about 50 or so bullets with the high capacity. So yeah, but of course you can pair that with spooling trigger or something like that, so you have a higher rate of fire. It's all personal preference, but this is typically the setup that I found works the best. It's the most balanced, works the best at high ranges. If you do things like spooling, although it increases your rate of fire, you get an accuracy drop off. And I find this gun is really accurate at long range, mostly because I like to use the sniper barrel. The sniper barrel reduces recoil, and although it lowers your bullet healing per bullet versus assault, it has a slightly higher rate of fire and is a little bit more stable. The silencer it keeps your bullets accurate at a really long range. You have hardly any recoil. It basically turns your rifle into just like a really amazing. Well, rifles are already hit scan, but it just, I don't know, it feels almost like a beam. It's just so accurate. I mean, I can show you what assault does here real quick if you're really curious, but there's a little bit of accuracy drop off, like shooting this guy. You know, my tracking's pretty decent, but when your teammates are jumping around all over the place at long range, the assault rifle has a little bit of kick, a little bit more kick to it, and is like, see, like some of these guys like way out here. Yeah, I'm missing a couple bullets. It's not so bad, but typically with healing, you don't want to miss. Like, if you miss bullets, your teammates are gonna die, or you're not going to get that kickback healing and you're going to die. You want to make sure that the bullets are guaranteed, or going to, when you hold the left click to fire, they're going to hit your target. So really go with the silenced. I really like the silenced version of this gun. Stock choice isn't really super important. I either go with standard or aluminum. Aluminum has a bonus so that if you're moving around a lot more, like jumping and stuff, your gun remains accurate even while you're moving and juking around. So I really like the aluminum stock for this reason, because you always want to stay mobile in this game. Staying still equals death. You want to be constantly moving, so you never want to be standing still. So the aluminum stock's bonus is to give you better accuracy while you're moving. It gives you a little bit less recoil dampening. You won't really notice it that much because you have that silencer. Because you're using that silencer barrel, that slight decrease in dampening, you're not even going to have to worry about that. The scope choice, I've been using this bioscanner scope. Basically what it allows you to do is see your teammates' health bars through walls. Now, in the game, you can already see your teammates' names through the walls. You can already kind of see where your teammates are on the map. This scope doesn't do anything beneficial. It doesn't do anything like benefit-wise to your stats, but it sort of gives you a little bit extra information, so you can see, all right, if there's three teammates, who is the lowest on HP? Who should I heal first? But of course, it's one of those slight minor style changes. Typically, you're going to want to just shoot whoever's closest to you anyway, and you know, things like worrying about which teammate is lowest on life isn't really going to be much of a concern, because as soon as you start shooting heal bullets into your enemy, they actually end up showing the health bar over their head anyway. So it's kind of one of those style things. It's sort of for looks and appearance. You get this kind of interesting, kind of glowy, kind of HUD sort of thing that comes up, but I'm actually going to recommend, and I think I'm going to start doing this, is using a 1.5 times scope. Because with the recoil dampening that is attached to the silencer, using a 1.5 times scope is it's insanely accurate. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between that and, let's say, assault. So I'm going to use an assault one. Notice how much kick it has. Notice how there's so much kick when I scope in with a 1.5 times scope with assault. There's a ton of kick. Like, look at my crosshair just going crazy. And all that goes away when I use silencer. So what this is going to allow you to do is heal your teammates from longer ranges. because there is a slight bit of accuracy drop off if you try and heal people with the heal AR and you're just using iron sights. This is going to keep you very accurate at a really long range. It's really useful. Sometimes having that extra 1.5 times scope is going to be the difference between hitting a teammate with a heal or not. But you can figure out which style you like, whether or not you like the recon scope or the extra information that you get from the bioscanner. But there's not too much big of a difference. The gun is pretty accurate even with iron sights. So, you know, it's all style choice. What do you prefer? But this is basically what I found. This is basically the most reliable healing rifle in the game. Like, this is the best. Like, you may be like, oh, well, I want to try this other stuff. No. Like, I've been using this gun for a while. This has got to be, like, the most reliable heal rifle in the game. It provides heal over time for your teammates. So notice I can just burst into this. Oh, wait, hang on, let me reload. I can burst into this guy for a few seconds and then stop. And then his health bar is still going to keep going up. So I'll burst into this guy for a little bit, stop healing. His health bar still keeps going up. Burst into this guy for a little bit, stop. See, his health bar just keeps going up. So the heal rifle is a heal over time heal rifle. So it's one of those weapons where you can kind of like shoot into an enemy for a little bit and stop, and you know he's going to get overhealed. Shoot the next guy, shoot the next guy, shoot your next guy, and just stop and just know that they're going to get healed back up to full because it has a heal over time thing. Now, there's kind of a penalty to this. If your enemies are taking huge burst damage, or if they're getting chained down by like a high DPS, high rate of fire weapon, the heal over time effect can sometimes be kind of a drawback. Like, you can pump as much healing as you want into a guy, but they're always fixed on that heal rate, that rate at which the bar sort of goes up, so you can't really heal beyond that point. So if someone's taking damage that's beyond the rate of the healing, the damage is going to trump. The damage is going to trump the healing. So you got to be kind of careful. Healing is sort of like a tool you use sort of before and after a fight. Once you're actually in a battle with a teammate, and your teammate starts taking damage, sometimes it's better to switch to an offensive weapon and just help them kill your opponent and not even try and heal them. Because, you know, like I said, you know, pumping heals into them, there's a fixed heal rate. So taking a certain threshold of damage, at a certain point, it's going to stop being effective. They're going to be taking so much damage, shooting heal bullets into them isn't even going to save their lives. So you might as well just pull out an offensive weapon and help them kill your opponent. Now, there's sort of a there's another gun you can pair to get rid of that whole factor, and that is the effects of the healing beam. So the healing beam works a little bit differently than the healing AR. The healing beam is perfectly accurate at even the longest ranges. So I almost always recommend using a 1.5 times scope at least, because it's always accurate. It's super long range. And the thing that the beam heal excels at that the AR healing doesn't is burst heals. So notice how their health bar just chunks back up. It's not like the heal rifle where I shoot a little bit into them and I can go away and their health bar keeps going up. You actually have to keep your crosshair left clicked on the guy, but their health will just chunk back up. Like, huge chunks of their life are just ticking back up. And so the beam is actually a good tool to use while your enemy is taking damage. So while your enemy is actually receiving damage, it's better to use a beam heal, because the damage, the healing done by this weapon is done instantly, and basically can counter the damage. So as the damage comes in, the healing comes out, and you can actually neutralize the damage to the point where if you're healing a guy and they're taking damage, their life bar will just stay fixed in one place. They won't be getting heals or taking damage because the healing will be so strong that it negates the damage. So just some stuff, just a quick recap. Healing rifles are better for before and after fights. Healing beams are good during the fight. And I really recommend the liquid cooling assault barrel beam healer, because it heals an insane amount of health over a very short period of time. Notice that you don't get as much kickback healing. The healing AR, you get a lot of self-healing. You notice the health bar on the top left goes up a little bit, but not nearly as much as when I use my heal AR. If I full heal a teammate with a heal AR, I'm basically full healing myself. With the beam, it's not so much. You don't get nearly as much kickback, so that's kind of a trade-off you kind of have to manage. You your kickback healing, what type of weapon you want to make for what type of situation. Now you could do something where you make a heal beam with, let's say, heat sink and headhunter, let's say, and use this instead. And notice that this, your gun won't overheat as much, but you can almost get a full self-heal meter if you do it 100%. Maybe let me see what happens if I shoot at the head. I think headhunter gets bonus damage to the head. Yeah, so if you keep I'm using the headhunter rifle on this one. This is kind of an experimental build I'm kind of working with. I don't really exactly know if this is super effective yet, but heatsink basically allows it so that you have a lot more capacity, and headhunter makes it so that if you shoot at the head of your target, you get more kickback healing. So if you actually shoot at the head of your target with this gun, it's going to give you way better kickback healing, and it's going to heal your teammate really fast. But of course, there's that extra skill involved. You have to shoot at the head. You have to shoot at their head if you want to get that bonus heal. So you know, experiment between maybe this headhunter heatsink and the assault liquid cooling. They're both really strong choices. I recommend both of them. Obviously, the liquid cooling one doesn't have as good as kickback healing. Liquid cooling is also cool because let's see, I'll get my heat up pretty high. 95 heat. If I hold R, the R button, you can actually vent your beam. You vent the beam, kind of like reloading your rifle. You vent the beam's heat, and liquid cooling allows you to actually reload your gun faster. Holding R button, see how fast? 6, 7, 3, 2, 1, boom, I'm back to 0. I can start shooting again. Now, there's a trade-off between that and, let's say, the heatsink headhunter. The heatsink headhunter, even though it chunks the health back, notice when I hold R, the percentage doesn't drain as quickly. See, I'm going to get up to, like, let's say 96. Notice it takes a lot longer for the beam to recharge when you hold down the R button when you use the heatsink variant. So, you know, you got to be careful managing your heat. You know, be careful about that stuff. You don't want to overheat your beam, because if you overheat your beam, there's kind of a cooldown period. This kind of annoying. That red circle comes up. You can't shoot until that goes away. So you kind of have to be careful with your heat management. But these weapons I've found are some of the best as far as support and base weapons. And the power of base weapons is that you can compare them with any other type of gun and they're going to be good. So you can compare the self-juice launcher with an AR, or the heal rifle with an AR, or the heal rifle with a rocket launcher or something. These are just really good fallback weapons. You can always use them with any type of loadout. They're always going to be useful. I mean, I've even done like heal rifle and sniper, and it's still really effective. I've even seen some people do like heal sniping, where people are so good at getting headshots that they decide that instead of shooting their enemies, they're going to shoot their teammates, and a healing headshot will give you full health. I'm not very good at it, but that's just giving you some ideas for some stuff with some weapon builds you can maybe try. So I'm going to show you some other stuff. Everybody is always saying, Beefy, you're the best rocket launcher user in the game. Beefy, show me your rocket launcher. Beefy, rockets. Beefy, Beefy, Beefy.
Beefy. So meaty.
Beefy, why don't you show me your rocket launcher? Alright guys, so I'm going to show you the rocket launcher. This has got to be the easiest freaking launcher to use in the game. This has got to be the easiest, like, so easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put bouncing. How much does rebounding lower it by? Rebounding isn't not a terrible trade-off. But I'm going to stick with bouncing because we want to maximize damage. So this is the... Let's put mortar on there. Yeah. This is the manual detonate mortar, or what I like to call it as the Mortar-d. This is just so easy to use. You basically fire it once at your enemy, fast moving projectile, you left click again, manually detonate the warhead. Manual detonation do air shots, so enemies who are jumping in the air with, say, like jump boots, much easier to hit when you can shoot the rocket at them and manually explode it in the air. Basically, the skill to this weapon is developing a sense of depth perception. So what typically new players will do is they'll fire the rocket at a guy and they'll blow it up too soon. Notice he didn't take full damage. They'll be like, oh no. They'll think they hit him, but really they're blowing it up like a little bit too soon. So you have to develop a sense of timing to make sure you get the rocket right in front of the guy. So when you left click, you know for sure you're going to be doing max damage. Even though right there I screwed up. But this gun is basically a 2-hit kill. You get 2 rockets near the guy, you left click, boom baby, you're gonna get a kill, man. This is just such an easy launcher. It's very user friendly. The rocket travels really quickly. I'm pairing it with bounce, so I can kind of skip it across the ground at an enemy. It's kind of nice. Let's see if I can do a trick shot here. So yeah, you can do stuff like that. You know, bounce it off the walls so that it hits your enemy. All sorts of cool little stuff with bouncy. Bouncy is really fun. I really recommend putting bouncy or rebounding on your rockets. It gives you kind of like an extra buffer. Like if you miss, you can always kind of get some pretty nifty rebounding shots. But this is basically, I feel like it's the easiest to use launcher for the most bang for your buck. This is the launcher. This is the OP launcher that everyone says, Beefy, show me your launcher. This is the launcher. I'm going to show you another build here real quick. Oh, and I'll show you how to build that too. That's basically just mortar, bouncy, manual detonate. You want to always do... Oh, wait. Pfft, that was with full auto. No wonder it wasn't doing as much damage. Hahaha. Oh, my God.
You lose! Good day, sir!
Game over, man. It's game over.
Yeah, so, yeah, let's make sure you have semi-auto and not full auto. Full auto is just going to reduce your damage and it's pointless because you only have 1 shot in the clip. You want to make sure it's set to semi-auto. Compact gives you that extra hip fire advantage, but again, with launchers, hip fire, accuracy, stats are all pretty much meaningless. You really don't have to worry about those. Use that with bouncy, manual detonate. This has got to be, this is such a powerful launcher. It is just insane.
Godlike.
Okay, so let's go back here. So that's the launcher, the Beefy launcher. I'm gonna say yes to the builds. I'm gonna show you some other stuff too. A lot of people are always asking, what is the good sniper rifles? A lot of people are really into sniper rifles. There's actually quite a few different variations on the sniper you can pick. This one I have right here is the, go back in here real quick. This is the shell-loaded headhunter. Now, I like to pair this with my juice launcher so I can get faster reload, and notice the damage is 29.26. Now, with a damage threshold this high, you're only going to do maybe, it's going to take 4 shots. 4 shots to kill an enemy, but I like to pair that with the juice launcher, and I think I can emulate that real quick if I go to my loadouts. Instead of boots, we'll throw on buff-nade, back to weapon-crafting, pull out the sniper rifle again, customize. Yeah, see 29.26. We're gonna go in here. Notice these body shots. Let's get some enemies to load in. Come on, guys. See, 4-hit kill. You're like, why would I ever want to do that? It's a 4-hit kill body shot. That sucks. Well, if you bring a juice grenade or you self-juice yourself, it'll actually push the damage to a point to where you can 3-hit kill the body shots. 3-hit kills on body shots, which is actually really nice. And the fact is that the clip is so large on this weapon, 11 bullets, compared to the brother trigger, which would be like bolt action for sniping, is what you typically would imagine. But this shell loaded gives you actually higher DPS. So with bolt action, it takes a long time to reload bolt action rifles, but the DPS on this 3-shot rifle, I mean, it takes a little bit more skill. You have to hit the guy 3 times, but it's actually higher DPS. You can actually kill a guy faster by hitting him with 3 shots of the shell-loaded rifle than you could if you could even hit with 2 bolt-action shots. So 2 bolt-action body shots, it's going to take you a lot longer than it's actually going to take to hit your enemy 3 times with a shell-loaded rifle. So, alright, so you must be wondering, why am I using Headhunter and not the sniper barrel? Well, I'll show you right now. The Headhunter gives you extra bonus damage to headshots. Notice that did 115 damage. Now, mine isn't very upgraded by any means, but basically what this allows you to do is to get higher headshot damage. Higher headshot damage so you can still one-hit kill opponents, but do that with a 3-shot rifle. So you can either go for the 3-shot body shot, you know that one wasn't, or you can go for those one-hit kill headshots as well. So let's see, what is the headshot damage without the juice? Yeah, notice it's only 96. So you want to make sure you have that juice buff up so you can get those one-hit KO headshots. Now, this isn't going to penetrate shields. Although I could have sworn I've headshot some people through the shields with this. People with shields have 130 HP. Now everyone's like, oh my god, shields, so OP, everybody's using shields. I'm going to show you the counter build to shield. Basically what you're going to want to do is use bolt action version of this with Headhunter. Now your headshots are going to be doing like 137 damage. Let me get a headshot here real quick. Wow, when your juice is 164, that is incredible. So people who are overhealed and have shields, they're going to have close to 180 HP. So this is going to help you kind of like take them down a notch. Headshots are going to be devastating with this Headhunter sniper rifle. The bolt action makes it so, of course, the lower reload speed, but of course also the body shots. Notice the body shots aren't 2-hit kills anymore. They're only doing about 41 damage. So if you do use Headhunter, I always recommend bringing juice as either the juice equipment for the juice grenade, so you can get back those 2-hit body shots, or using the self-juice launcher as a secondary and just running around constantly juicing yourself so you can get faster reload, movement speed, and all that damage and all that good stuff, so you can get those one-hit KO headshots. And I'm not that great at this, but damn it, that was bad.
Godlike. Holy shit. Ludicrous kill.
You won! You did it! You did it! I knew you would! I just knew you would!
So yeah, that's another build of the sniper. You can also just go traditional. Not use the Headhunter barrel. Use, let's say, the regular sniper rifle. And you're still going to get those one-hit KO headshots. But the headshot damage isn't going to be nearly as high, and people who use shields are still going to kind of troll you a little bit. I'm going to see maybe if I juice. Let's see here. Maybe if you juice. Yeah, it does 123. Yeah. So you're not going to be able to one-hit KO the people who are doing using shields with this. But so yeah, if you're wanting one-hit KO the overhealed shield users, use the Headhunter variation. If you're going for damage per second, use shell loading. Shell loading gives you that extra clip with those 3-shot kill body shots. That's actually going to be higher DPS if you go for body shots. If you're a body shot guy, go with shell loading. It's way faster. You can kill enemies way faster with shell loading than you can with bolt action. Bolt action is way slow. It's slow. You're really gambling. You really want to go for those headshots if you're going to use bolt action. Of course, juicing can augment that. You can get real tricky. Do something like a standard magazine, semi-auto with we'll say full auto with shock absorbing, and do some kind of like crazy auto sniper. if you're into that sort of thing. Weapon like this, although it doesn't seem like you're like, wow, it takes like so many extra shots to kill this guy, it's actually a really good practice weapon. This weapon has a huge clip. You can shoot a lot of shots. So if you're not good at sniping, if you're like, man, I suck D at sniping, I'm really bad at it. Use a gun like this because you have a huge clip. You get so many shots. You can get all kinds of practice in with like trying to practice your sniping with the weapon like this. And of course, you know, bring juice so you can get that extra little damage buff. Boom, you got a really good gun. Now it's like a 4-hit kill. And you're using full auto so you can just mash on it. You may be wondering why I decided to use shock absorbing. Well, if you were to use something like aluminum or standard, well, yeah, standard probably won't, but stability. Let me see. Well, let me see. What is it like with, let's say, aluminum? If I use full auto, it's not too bad, but there's a little bit more scope sway. There's a little bit. It wants to move away a lot more when if I use that stock instead of shock absorbing. You really don't lose that much damage. You lose like 0.6 damage. The difference is so small. I mean, yeah, your reload is a little bit longer, but you're going to be able to have... it's way more stable. Your gun, your sway doesn't move hardly at all when you fire. You can just keep shooting and remain accurate. So these are some different sniper builds to be aware of. So that was... so what we covered was the... this is kind of like the practice sniper. This is kind of a full auto sniper, kind of a carbine style weapon. We're going to want to hit the enemy 4 or 5 times in the body to get a kill. You can go for the insane burst damage builds, sniper builds with, say, the headhunter rifle and the semi-auto. With, let's say, the bolt action. Yeah, get those massive, those big damage headshots. Of course, you're gambling a little bit more because the reload is much slower. The reload is much slower, so if you miss, you know, there's a lot more downtime. You got to reload. Oh man, it takes so long. So you know, you gotta figure out what you like as far as what style of sniper. But these are a bunch of different ones. You can always swap out with, let's say, Pyro or Tesla to take down shields, or Pyro. Pyro to get those damage over time headshots. I'm pretty sure that guy will die. Die from that right there. Yeah, and he could probably roll as hard as he wants, and he probably will still die from that. Yeah, those Pyro headshots, OP. So yeah, fool around with what you like as far as the payload style. I might mostly recommend Slug or Tesla. Those will be your safe bets. Pyro is kind of if you're feeling spicy, so to speak. But yeah, you want to be able to deal out the damage you want to deal. You got some choices between sniper, headhunter, shell loading, improved semi-auto versus full auto snipers. You got a lot of choices. Figure out what sniper fits your best build. My favorite in particular right now is probably got to be shell loading with the... I don't know, I'm kind of up in the air about this. I like the self-juice, but sometimes it's a little bit slower. I kind of like the headhunter with shell loading. Not shock absorbing. Let's see here real quick. Get out the semi-auto. This guy. Get off. Okay. Yeah, I really like this sniper rifle, at least when I pair it with, let's say, juicing, because I can still get those one-hit KO headshots that are really good, but it's also a 3-hit kill body shot as well.
dodge this?
So yeah, those are some choices for sniper rifles. I'll just leave it out going. And now another thing I see a lot of is like shotguns. What is a good shotgun build? Well, you can build some other shotguns. There's some choices, but honestly, screw those other ones. This is the best shotgun in the game. I'm sorry. EOR, I know you want to build variety in your game, but this shotgun right now has got to be the most dominating shotgun in the game. Self-juice, it's a 2-shot kill from extremely long range. Like, these guys didn't even... look at how far away he was, and he took full damage. I don't think the AR shotguns go anywhere close to that kind of range. This has got to be the best shotgun in the game, bar none. The Tesla shell-loaded semi-auto shotgun. This thing is amazing. This thing just chunks people down. 3-hit kills. The Tesla shotgun shoots projectiles as opposed to the hit scan pellets that the AR shotgun does. So you do kind of have to lead your target just a little bit. Not that much, but just a little bit. They buff the travel time quite a bit on this gun, so it's a lot more user-friendly. But this shotgun, like if you're trying to make a shotgun, like if you're a big shotgun guy, you want to rush people down, bring a self-juicer and a shield. Maybe bring juice grenades if you want to bring like another secondary, maybe a sniper rifle or something if you want to control long range. Just run right at people and just fucking go to town on them, like boom, boom, boom. Running and gunning, bang, bang, he's dead. Some more juice back up, running right at this guy, juice up, bang, 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 bang. And it's cool too, I think this shotgun has penetration. So see this guy in front? There's a guy standing right behind him. If I shoot the shotgun at him, I'm pretty sure he took damage too. Could have been from the arc damage, but there are some shotguns that have penetration like that. So yeah, shotgun, this has got to be my favorite shotgun by far. This is like the best shotgun in the game. Now let's move on to, this is another one. Some people, they don't really know too much about good pulse builds. Pulse was always kind of a weapon during the closed beta that was notoriously bad. Everybody would always say, oh my god, the pulse is so underpowered, so terrible. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite automatic pulse weapons. So, let me just show you the shotgun build, the narrow scatter barrel. I want to touch on this before I get too far ahead of myself. The narrow scatter barrel is what makes this shotgun so good. Narrow scatter boosts the range from, what is the regular scatter? Regular scatter is not bad, 40. But oh my god, look at the hip accuracy. Holy crud, 70 hip accuracy. You basically, when you use a pulse, you want to always use compact because the pulse has a special property. It's the best hip fire weapon of any other weapon in the game, except for maybe like beam. But beam doesn't count. Beam is always 100% accurate. But versus like, let's say, assault rifles, the hip fire on pulse is really high. You combine compact with narrow scatter, and you get nearly 70% hip accuracy. So you can do things like this, where you can stand like really far away and just hip fire and get that chunk damage, get those 3-hit kills, those 2-hit kills. So yeah, that's how you build a shotgun. It's all about combining the compact, the narrow scatter. The reason why I like Tesla over pulse or Tesla over slug is because as much as I like slug, Tesla pierces shields, and everyone uses freaking shields. There's way too many shield users right now, so I really like the Tesla because of shields, and because you get a little bit of fudge factor if you kind of shoot at the guy's feet. You still get some arc damage. Maybe hit a buddy. Get a little bit of fudge factor just in case you miss. But yeah, this is definitely my favorite shotgun build. You could definitely do something similar with, let's say, a rifle. You could do the same thing with like a scatter barrel, compact. Even then, look at the hip accuracy, 0. Come on, that's terrible. 0 hip accuracy. Oh yeah, look at the range difference. You can't hit him at all. You have to be right next to him. Yeah, so you definitely want to use that pulse shotgun. It's just so much better than the AR ones. Like, just use the pulse one. Trust me on this one. Compact, narrow scatter. Use standard bullets. If you're feeling really feisty, maybe try slow pulse. You get a little bit of extra damage, but obviously the projectile travels a little bit slower. Yeah, I'm not really digging that. I definitely stick with standard. This is basically all low-level parts, too. This is like brand new gun. Level 2 compact, level 2 iron sights. That doesn't really do much for the gun. I'm using level 1 Tesla, level 1 narrow scatter, level 1 shell loading, level 1 semi-auto. I mean, I'm not really doing a whole lot. This isn't a leveled up gun at all, and it's still like really freaking strong. Like, really strong. And you can do a lot of damage from far away. This is a shotgun, and I'm standing a good, you know, 50 yards away from him, and I'm doing full damage.
Dominating!
Alright, so let's move on. That was shotguns. Next I'm going to move on to automatic pulse weapons. Now this is my favorite right here. This is a spooling, silenced, high cap pulse. And basically what it allows you to do is hip fire and shoot a massive amount of projectiles that are actually even accurate from like long range. Notice how I can keep tracking that guy? And the trick behind this weapon is you don't aim down sights, you always hip fire it. So that's the thing about pulse, it's a hip fire weapon. You also always typically want to pair this with Tesla because, you know, like I said, in case you miss, you can kind of shoot at the guy's feet. You can still get that arc damage. It's still pretty useful even if you miss. Piercing shields, really good at destroying turrets. Tesla is just a really all-around. You sacrifice a little bit of damage for a lot of utility. Tesla is like the utility payload. It does a lot of stuff. It counters a lot of mechanics in the game that you normally couldn't counter, but the Tesla loses a little bit of damage. But again, you know, like I said, self-juicing works good with every weapon type. Self-juice with this weapon, and boom, now you got a really strong weapon. The high capacity is going to allow you to, well, especially if I pair it up with the juice. The juice is going to allow me to reload this weapon faster because it's a really long reload. You can kill multiple people with one clip. I kill about 5 people. Almost, let's see if I can kill this guy even. I can kill like 6 people with one clip. I mean, that's crazy. It's kind of like the ultimate spray and pray. If you're one of those spray and pray guys that just want to just suppressive fire, keep shooting, shoot first, ask questions later, you know, shoot first, aim later, this is going to be your weapon. You might want to even pair it with, let's say, bouncy shells, because then if you miss, maybe the bouncy can, you know, maybe hit a target, or you can just kind of spray it around an area, and then there's just tons of energy balls, and it just looks scary, and your teammates, or not your teammates, your enemies may not want to go into an area because there's a lot of, like, you know, energy balls shooting around all over the place. But yeah, I really recommend this automatic pulse build, although it's not really automatic, it's actually spooling. Spooling is one. I really like spooling. It has a little bit of wind-up time. You can kind of hear it. But I mean, it gives you massive rate of fire, so you can really like jump through your clip really quickly. Super high DPS weapon, especially if you self-juice. This is one of my favorite weapons to self-juice with. And it's even accurate at long range, which is just incredible now that they finally buffed Pulse. You gotta lead your target a little bit. You can't really aim right at the guy, and it's really recommended not to really aim down sights. You can aim down sights, but you actually have a lot higher chance of hitting them if you hip fire. Son of a gun. Yeah, this pulse is pretty fun. I really like it. I recommend it. You can do some other pulse builds too. I really like also this laser guided full auto Gatling with either the you always use standard mag with either Tesla or Slug. I kind of like Slug. This, unlike the other one, which is a hip fire weapon, this is an aim down sights weapon. You always want to aim down sights. That's gonna make the gun much more accurate because the gun is connected to that laser dot. Notice how this is laser guided. This little laser dot you can see here on the wall. Your pulse shots are going to be attracted to that dot. And so what this allows you to do is, instead of being like a hip fire weapon, this becomes an aim down sights weapon. And a weapon that's sort of like this Gatling, which has a high rate of fire, but also it's very unstable. It doesn't have the best accuracy either. If I were to hip fire this at range, I think it would be okay. It's okay, but the spread is kind of big. You may have a chance of missing, but when you aim down sights with the laser guidance, it's actually going to tighten up that spread. It's going to keep the bullets kind of going all in the same spot because they're going to be attracted to that red dot. And things like spread, things like see kind of like if I shoot, like, let's say at this let's see here, let's see where can I actually, I'm going to make it not bouncy here for a second so I can show you guys this. Alright, so this is going to be a kind of a demonstration of the spread, how the spread works for this weapon. So that's that wall kind of way out there. If I shoot, hip fire the pulse, notice, look at how the spread is just all over the place. The wall is just covered in it. That's kind of like the area it controls. But then if, let's say, if I do it with the laser guidance, I already have laser guidance on there. If I do it with the laser guidance and aim down sights, spread is much tighter. It's much more concentrated on just one area. So, you know, when your enemy's moving and jumping around all over the place at long range, you're not going to want to deal with that whole spread. You're going to miss. I mean, if they're juking and jumping all over the place, you're not going to want to deal with that. So you want to use the laser guidance with this high rate of fire weapon so that you can remain accurate, deal high damage at even long range, and it's a pulse weapon. This is definitely one of my favorite pulse weapons by far. This pulse gun is awesome. I recommend it. I'll show you the build right here. It's just full auto, standard magazine, standard bullets. There's other things too, like skipping, slow pulse, corkscrew. Those are things that they kind of increase damage a little bit, but they're kind of like they're a little bit more tricky to use. Like trying to hip fire this corkscrew. The little corkscrewing animation, if enemies are moving around all over the place, you actually have a lot higher chance of missing. And corkscrewing bullets, because they do that little spinning animation, they actually move a little bit slower. They don't travel from point A to point B quite as quickly. But of course, that's why you have a little bit of a damage boost from standard if you use corkscrew. But a lot of that is alleviated by the laser guidance. So if you are going to use corkscrew to get that extra damage, make sure you use laser guidance, because laser guidance is going to help control that little extra spread and help you get that bonus damage without having to worry the corkscrewing bullets like going all over the place like crazy and you know, missing and not, you know, getting your full damage bonus. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of corkscrew. The damage bonus is pretty minimal. You have a lot higher chance of missing. I'd rather just have the bullets just fly in a straight line. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. That's a ton better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. That is the stuff.
Godlike.
So those are my two favorite pulses. Pulse rifles for sniping are actually pretty good. They're a little bit harder to use. Basically everything that I talked about with the AR sniper can basically be applied to the pulse snipers with the addition of the laser guidance scope. Or the cool thing about pulse snipers is you can actually iron sights them, and they stay pretty accurate. So let me go down here real quick. We'll just use standard shell loading. Semi-auto, aluminum, iron sights, sniper, we'll use slug, regular bullets, shell loading, aluminum sniper, and yeah, this guy remains accurate even when you don't have to aim down a scope. You can actually aim down sights. Pretty accurate, actually. Pretty good gun. I haven't fooled too much around with this build, but this is a pretty good gun. You have to lead your target. It works more like a regular bullet. There's some travel time. It's not hit scan. You actually have to lead the projectile. So I'm going to shoot like... See, I missed that guy. I'm going to aim a little bit ahead of him. Make sure I hit him. And this thing's really cool because I'm getting 2 hit body shot kills, like I could with maybe the AR, and like I could with the AR, but basically it's a 2-hit kill, but I'm using frickin' shell loading. I have an 11 bullet clip. I have 11 bullets in my clip instead of the other kind. So this is like, although you don't want to shoot the legs. If you shoot the legs, you're gonna lose damage. You want to always shoot above in the torso or head. But yeah, this is like a really good iron sight sniper. If you try and iron sights a regular AR, it's not gonna work as well. So you really want to shoot higher. Of course, bring juice. Juice is really nice. Maybe that's why I was getting those 2-hit kills. Yeah, I was getting 2-hit kills because of the juice. This is just some different build ideas. Something you can do with the pulse. I don't have this stuff leveled up very much. I still have pretty much level 1 everything but iron sight. So, I mean, you can definitely get this a lot stronger. Maybe I could even try. Let's see. Let's try a 2-round burst real quick. Let's just see what this does. That's like almost that's almost good. That's actually almost good. Ooh. So this actually can one-hit kill if you one-click kill if you can get the little the second bolt to hit him in the head. Ooh.
Holy shit. Rampage.
Gets kind of hard to do at long range. Maybe if you do it with, like, let's say, laser guidance. Let's try it with laser guidance. Yeah, even that still kind of has a lot of kick on it. Yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of the risk reward. I don't know. It's pretty tricky. I mean, if you really grinded practice with it, you could maybe get good with 2-round bursts, but it adds a lot of recoil. You pretty much want to stick with semi-auto. Try this with full auto real quick. Yeah, so I don't know, pulse, whatever. I'm not a big fan of the pulse sniper. Honestly, sticking with a regular AR sniper is going to be a lot more reliable. I mean, you get a little bit of bonus damage for a little extra difficulty if you want to kind of make that extra step. If maybe that bolt action sniper is getting too easy for you, you can maybe step up to the pulse variations, but yeah, I don't really like them a whole lot. Now let's move on to, let's see here. Let's do some full auto offensive beams. So this is a tracking style weapon. This is a liquid cooling full auto assault beam. This is going to yield really high DPS, but the gun overheats pretty quickly, so you really got to manage your heat with this one. I know GST really likes to use standard version of this, which does a little bit less damage, but it's a lot easier on the heat. Like, you can kill like 2 people practically and not have to deal with it overheating. So if you do want to get that extra bonus damage and jump to the liquid cooling, liquid cooling does kill people a lot faster, but you really have to manage your heat percentage. Really make sure you're venting your weapon in between shots to make sure that you You can get them so you don't overheat as much. But I kind of like the liquid one. I kind of like the extra damage. I don't mind managing the heat a lot. Managing the heat isn't a really big issue for me. There's some other builds you can do too. You can do something with like, let's say, you can do sniper, standard, full auto, and then you get a beam that does a lot of extra damage. But you get these nice. Let me show you here real quick. You get these nice little bonus ticks to the head. Notice it's ticking for 23 damage every time you hit him in the head. That's pretty nice. I mean, if you have a decent aim, you can kill people a lot faster with a sniper beam. But of course, you're gambling. You know, you're gambling that you're going to get that headshot, and your gun is going to just overheat a little bit faster than, let's say, using assault. So assault is going to do a little bit less damage, but it doesn't overheat as quickly. So beams are all about managing DPS versus heat overheat ratio. So I could change this to a heat sink 3-round burst assault. This is another one I kind of like because it's a little bit bursty. It's a 4-click kill. If you click your mouse 4 times, you should be able to kill a guy if you have decent tracking. Four-click kill. I kind of like this one. Of course, you're dealing with the heat sink, so your gun overheats. It kind of takes a little bit more to kind of cool it down, but the heat sink gives you a bigger clip, so you can fire this weapon quite a bit without having to worry about it really overheating. That's about as much as you can go. I kind of like that kind of variation. You can switch it up. Full auto, liquid cooling, assault. That tracking style, consistent beam weapon. These type of guns are really good for shooting down rockets. Beams are like the hard counter to rockets. So let's say someone is using, this is one of my other favorite weapons. It's the, I actually want to put jump boots back on real quick. So this is one of my favorite guns. This is the Hex Barrel Rebounding Tesla. And basically you can kind of get a swarm of rockets to kind of fly around and hit your enemies. You're going basically for direct hits with it. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good gun. It doesn't one-clip kill, but it does a lot of damage. I like to bring 2 of these because the cool thing about laser guidance is, I can show you here real quick actually by just using one gun. But I can shoot 6 rockets if I can reload fast enough. Aim. I didn't do it right. Let's try one more time. Notice those rockets? Well, yeah, see, there's some rockets. So those other rockets I fired from the other clip were still kind of in the area. They linger around because of the rebounding. So then when I scope in and fire more rockets, hopefully some more. Nah, I couldn't get it to work. But basically, if you bring 2 of these rocket launchers, you can amass like a swarm of rockets and all control them with one gun. So I can shoot 6 rockets with one gun, quick switch to another gun, shoot 6 more rockets, and control, right there you can kind of see it, you can control a previous clip's rockets. So you can have a lot of rockets in an area, but you know, you're like thinking, oh my god, there's a swarm of rockets, how do I stop it? You know, what do I do? Using beam, it's a full auto weapon. You can just knock them out of the sky. You see rockets, you shoot right at them. Just kind of go like this and just knock them out, scribble them out, just erase them. Just kind of jiggle your mouse around. Come on, it's not jiggling. Just jiggle your mouse around and you can, you know, get rid of those rocket swarms. Full auto beam is a good counter to rockets. So let's go over some more. Beams. This beam is particularly deadly. This is the 3-shot kill semi-auto slug. So headshots obviously are 2-hit kills, but this is like nuts, fucking nuts, godlike gun.
Godlike.
Because you can hip fire it. And if you just baby your heat management, you can basically never run out of ammo with this gun. So yeah, this gun is so good. Let me just go in here and show you how you build it. Liquid cooling semi-auto sniper. Obviously stock doesn't matter, it's a beam, it's always 100% accurate. Scope is personal preference. I kind of like the recon scope. You can fool around with what scope you like, it really doesn't matter, it doesn't change the accuracy, it's just personal preference over what type of zoom range you like. But yeah, this is a 3-hit kill. 3-hit kill. Obviously, if they bring shields, you won't have a 3-hit kill, but if you juice, that should be able to neutralize it. Or if you're feeling really spicy, you could try doing a Tesla version of this if you really wanted to get the shield users. But this is a really effective universal range rifle. But now, there is a counter to this. You're thinking, oh my god, this gun, so overpowered. Look at this crap. He's 3-shot killing them, he can hip fire it. You're really vulnerable to fire. You're really vulnerable to fire payloads. Fire payloads will actually overheat your beam. So notice when I fire, my heat percentage goes up, and I usually hold R to cool it down. If you're on fire, that goes away completely. You can't do that at all. If you're on fire, it totally counters the beam. So I'll show you a way. If someone's using this gun and you're like, God damn, I hate those guys using those freaking 3-shot kill beams, so OP. I'll show you a way how you can counter them. I'll do that with an AR. So what I'm going to do is an recon scope, full auto, silencer, because I really like silencer, pyro. So what this gun is good at doing is lighting enemies on fire at range. So if you see a beam user, shoot them with this AR. Get them with this AR. They're going to light on fire, and then suddenly their beam is going to stop working. It's just going to turn off. So you have a scope. You can put a scope on this gun. I think it's even pretty effective even with a 3-time scope. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's nice. Tracking weapon, full auto, a 3-time scope. This is going to counter those beam users. So those pesky beam users are just going to get knocked out of the park with this one. So yeah, that's just standard, full auto. I like standard for the little bit extra stability because that helps if you use a scope. If you iron sights this gun a lot, you can get away with using aluminum. But yeah, I really like the recon scope on this one. You can burn people from far away. It's really powerful if you combine it with self-juicing. Yeah, this is just a really effective weapon. Highly recommend it. Really good support weapon. Pairing this with, let's say, that heal rifle, you can be a really effective support class and, you know, heal your teammates and then light your teammates' opponents on fire so that your teammates can kill them faster. This is like all-out support. And of course, it has utility because it shuts down beam users. So yeah, so the Pyro AR, full auto silence Pyro AR, I gotta say is one of my favorite ARs, this one. I think you can even get away maybe using spooling. Oh yeah, you definitely can. Yeah, so spooling or full auto, I really recommend this one. This one's really good, stopping those beam users, supporting your teammates. And the cool thing you can do is use this to kind of support yourself. You can use this is a really great debuffing weapon. So like I said before, one of these base weapons, these guns that work with any kind of gun, this is one of them. because you pair this gun with, say, your mortar launcher, and you light your enemy on fire, and then you quick switch to your mortar, and then you blow them up in a single hit. Or actually, this is the Tesla version, so we'll slow this slug real quick. So I'll show you here real quick. Let's see if I can do this fast enough. I can go in here real quick. Light this guy on fire. He's on fire. He's got about half health left. Quick switch real quick. Boom. Finish him off with the launcher. And you got a pretty nice combo going on. So you don't have to reload it twice. You can finish him off with just a single weapon. So what you do is you go on here. Think this. Light him on fire. Go on here. Switch. Quick switch. Boom. Finish him off. Wham bam, thank you man, you got a pretty nice wombo combo. So this is one of those universal guns. Use it with the beam rifle. Use this with I kind of like to use this with the, I wouldn't pair this with a spooling weapon because I don't know, the time it takes to spool up your fire is going to deal a lot of damage. You kind of want this to pair this with the kind of like a quick burst weapon. So I would either pair this with, let's say, going in here real quick, the heat sink. Let's see here, 3-round burst, Tesla AR. It's kind of bursty, does like little 3-round shots, boom, 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 boom. So what you do here, we'll save that real quick. We'll go back here, go in here to the Pyro AR, show you a little thing real quick. So you light them on fire, quick switch. And they take a lot of extra, and so enemies that are on fire take 10% more damage. Enemies that are on fire take 10% more damage. So this is like a really good debuffing weapon. So using this with so let's do this one again. So we'll light this guy on fire. Get some dot going. Switch over here real quick to, let's say, my 3-shot kill ahead. My body shot headhunter. I cannot really able to do this fast enough. Unfortunately, you can't use 2 weapons in weapon crafting. I wish they let you change that, but so we'll light this guy on fire. And now the headshots are one-hit kills again, because the pyro debuff is increasing your damage. See, normally it's like, you know, 96. It's 106 if you light them on fire. So pair this with, you know, find out combos you like to do. I think maybe Headhunter isn't the best pick for this. Maybe just regular Sniper, 35 damage. Go for, let's say, so we'll save this real quick. So I don't actually want to do that. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool combo. I like to combo that Pyro AR with oops, I'm going too far. I like to combo this Pyro AR with either the mortar or the or either another beam or that AR. You can combine this with you can even use this as just pure support. Combine it with the heal rifle. Yeah, you got a lot of choices, or you can just self juice. Let's get some self juice going here. Get some self juice going, and now your Pyro AR is really strong. Now it's really gonna chunk people. Like, they could try and roll as much as they wanted. That Pyro dot's gonna kill them. So that's kind of a cool combo you can do too. You can self juice and then use the Pyro AR. You got a lot of choices with loadouts. And then here's another gun. I'm going to show you this, pretty interesting. This is another gun I like. It's the X-ray scope spooling. Let's see here. I kind of like shock absorbing, but standard's good. Silence will use a slug. So what this gun is good at is, like, this is the ultimate peek weapon. I like to kind of use this weapon to actually test against to see if people are cheating, because I can see them coming from around the corner, and it's pretty obvious to me sometimes, because I'll just peek around the corner and they'll just start shooting me right off the bat. I'm like, come on, they didn't know I was there. I'm not showing up on the radar or anything. They're cheating or whatever. But so if you think people are cheating, use your X-ray scope and get some footage and put it on the forums. This is a good way to see, you know, see if people aren't being legit or not. But what you do with this gun is, because I'm using spooling, you got the spooling weapon. You got a spooling weapon. Has has a little bit of spin up. It's like a mini gun from TF2. You got like a little bit of spin up time. You gotta like, and then it starts shooting. What you do is you got your spooling trigger, so it's a really good combo to pair this with the X-ray scope, because of course you can see your enemies coming before they come out. So what you do is you start spooling your weapon, and then you peek out and get them. Although I kind of feel like I killed both of them. So you can see the skeletons from behind the wall. And you peek out, you start shooting, get him.
Monster kill.
So he's about to see they're around the corner, start spooling, boom, get him. Around the corner, spool up, start shooting. So as soon as you peek the corner, you're already firing your weapon. I really like this slug AR. It's super accurate at long range. You can see enemies around corners. It's high DPS. It's just a really good gun. One of my favorite ARs by far. So yeah, if you're not comfortable with the high rate of fire, you could always do stuff like make it shock absorbing, which will actually lower the rate of fire a little bit. So if you're not used to if you're not that great with the gun and you like spool up and you're like, oh my god, I keep like missing all my bullets and I'm wasting my clip, it'll actually lower your rate of fire a little bit, so you can control your weapon a bit better if you do like shock absorbing. But obviously you lose a little bit of damage for a lot more stability. Using shock absorbing will actually make this gun even better at even longer ranges. Like I can go like all the way back here even, and like that's a spooling weapon. So yeah, that dampening or that shock absorbing gives you a lot more stability, which lowers your recoil. Shock absorbing combined with silencer, spooling, you got a high rate of fire, high DPS weapon you can use at long range, and even peek your opponents at close range and get the jump on them, so you can get that spooling timing going up before your enemy even knows what's hitting them.
Godlike.
Alright. So that covers pretty much the AR. Well, there's actually one other AR I really like too. For all you Halo junkies, all you Halo fans, this gun is going to be right up your alley. This is going to just be a standard slug with 3-round burst with the regular 1.5 times scope. This is basically a clone of the battle rifle. So all you Halo fans who used to love the battle rifle, this gun is for you. I really like this gun. It's got pretty high DPS. It chunks your enemies pretty quickly. I think it even has a little bit higher DPS than, say, a full auto assault. Especially if you start aiming for the head and get a little extra bonus head damage. But the thing that's really nice about this gun, it has a really accurate hip fire. Like, you can be pretty far away from your guy and still be accurate with the hip fire. Actually, I'd almost say you could almost do something where you compare it with compact. It's got a 61 hip accuracy. That's crazy. So yeah, this AR is pretty fun to use. It's like a battle rifle from Halo. Maybe compact if you really want to hip fire it. You just use iron sights, or if you really like to scope in and get that real battle rifle experience, do like so let's see what it's like with yeah, shock absorbing lowers the kickback by quite a bit, but you lose some damage, so you gotta kind of figure out what stock you like. I think standard is probably the most balanced. Yeah, I think standard is probably your best bet when it comes to stock. Yeah, I really like that AR. Let's see, what else is there? Oh yeah, well here's the mortar launcher. Remember I showed you the derp base roll, really easy to use launcher in the beginning of the video. I'm actually going to show you some other stuff. Here's a tri-barrel with proximity and sticky. Where's that sticky? Sticky, the icky sticky. So this is actually, if I do this right, this is actually a one-clip kill launcher. There's not very many launchers that do that. Most launchers you either have to reload and hit them with other, you know, either reload or use 2 launchers, but this is actually a one-clip kill launcher. If you hit them directly with all 3 shots, you can kill them in 1 clip. But of course it takes some skill, because you have to, you know, get good at hitting them with 3 shots, because if they're running perpendicular to you like that, you kind of have to figure out how to lead them. But it's a really good launcher. Pair it with sticky, and you can create a really cool effect. You can get some mines going, make a little mine cluster. So let's see, this enemy runs right here. Yeah.
Holy shit. Godlike.
So yeah, you can trap doors and stuff if you set up minefields. This is a really cool gun. I really recommend this if you're a big launcher junkie. One-clip kill. Works great with jump boots. You can jump over your opponents. It's got good rushdown potential. You can just run right at a guy. And, you know, just rush him down. Just make sure you hit him with all 3 shots and he's dead. It's really high DPS. It's got some cool utility because you can do mines. So there is a limit to how many mines you can have out of time. I think this gun has it set to like 6 or something. Yeah, 6 mines is the most you can have out at a time with this gun, but it's still really good. You can even, if you're a really fan of like the Demo Man pill launcher, you could do something where instead of you use sticky, you can do something with like rebounding and have it set so that, you know, you can fire the shots that go bouncing everywhere. I have shots bouncing all over the place. Skip them across the ground.
Dominating!
Alright, so that's the launcher. I guess I'll give you some more detail about my hex barrel launcher. Let's see here. We got hex barrel, rebounding. So basically, I use this with 2. I bring 2 of these, and like I said, like I was kind of showing you a little bit before, strategies that you amass a swarm of rockets and you kind of swarm them in on your opponent. So you bring 2 of these guns and you just go ahead and fire 1 full clip. Quick switch to another one, fire your other clip, keep laser guiding, and then you got a swarm of about 12 rockets you can use to kind of swarm down in on your enemies. And this is, it has a large area of effect. It's very distracting to your opponents. They hate it when there's just a huge cloud of rockets heading towards them. It's very scary. It forces your enemy to basically choose either to shoot down your rockets or take a lot of damage. So it's very distracting because good enemies will try and shoot down the rocket swarms, and that takes energy away from shooting your teammates or shooting you. So these swarm rockets are very effective. Pair this with either Tesla, gives you a little extra AoE radius, and piercing shields, or you could do slug. I kind of like, I like to do Tesla, but I'm trying to level it up right now. I think if you land every single shot on the slug, it's just barely short of a one-hit kill, I think. It's a one-clip kill if you land every single shot on a non-shielded target. You can kill someone with 1 clip with this weapon if you use slug. Oops. So that's laser guidance, hex barrel, full auto, rebounding, agile, proximity. You can mix it up and do things where you could do maybe 3 or 4 you know, burst ones. The hex barrel is the most damage effective. So, you know, you got, you know, almost 16 times 6 as opposed to 3 times, you know, 20, you know, 24 or what this is, whatever this is rounded up, because that doesn't even kill in one clip. But yeah, so you can actually kill in one clip with a hex barrel if you have this slightly up. I have some stuff upgraded because I've been playing with this for a while. Again, stock isn't really a big deal. I typically like to use compact just in case I want to hip fire it. Yeah, stock isn't that important because you're basically going to aim down sights and use the laser guidance to control where the rockets move. So you can do cool things like this where you can shoot your rockets into the air, laser guide them, and then all of a sudden your rockets are going to come swarming in from the sky down on your opponent. It's a really good way to, instead of shooting a rocket directly at, like let's say a sniper, let's say there's a sniper way off in the distance, you don't want to risk getting your rocket shot down. You can actually do a trick where you can shoot your rockets up into the air, laser guide in, and then swarm your rockets in from the sky and kind of do like a mortar strike sort of thing. So there's some cool tech you can do. It's a lot of skill with the laser guidance and rebounding as far as controlling your rockets, having them do different things. You got a lot of control over where the rocket moves. It's a really fun launcher. This is good. I typically like to bring 2 of these guns because the swarm is just so overwhelming. You can laser guide 2 clips of rockets with 1 gun. So I could shoot off 6 rockets. I don't know if this will instantly reset my... Yeah, it does let me do that. So I can show you here real quick. So I'm going to fire off 6 rockets real quick. Go back to test. Scope back in. And here they come. Yeah. So those ones. So those rockets came from another clip, just to kind of give you like an extra example of like what happens when you use the rebounding and laser guidance. So it kind of the rebounding is to kind of help keep the rockets in the playing field. So yeah, rebounding, laser guidance, rocket launchers, swarm rockets, really fun play style. These are countered by if someone brings like let's say a cage, let's say turbo, impact, manual, black, iron sights, compact, semi-auto. So someone could bring something like this and fire a rocket, and then it brings out little flak explosives everywhere. This would hard counter that hex barrel launcher because those little flak explosives will completely destroy swarms of rockets that are trying to fly through it. So maybe do this with like maybe even let's say a tri-barrel. Can I manually detonate them? Yeah, this is good. Maybe like a tri-barrel. This is like a hard counter setup to that hex barrel launcher I was showing you. So if you see somebody using that hex barrel launcher, bring this thing. And even though it doesn't really do a ton of damage, this is really good at knocking out rockets because it's a turbo, so the rocket is going to travel a lot faster. So you can intercept the rocket a lot quicker. And then when it does blow up, it has all these little pyro flak explosive things. You can maybe see it a little bit better if I switch it to like let's say Tesla. That little AoE cloud of lightning knocks out rockets. This is a really good hard counter to rocket launchers, this type of rocket. You could also do something similar, you know, let's just say you could do flak with, you could even do pyro even. You could even do pyro and do something like this where you're just firing them to light them on fire. You can use this as kind of a debuffing weapon. Really fast moving rocket. It's really annoying. And debuffed enemies you can actually see through walls. So that's what's kind of nice about lighting your enemies on fire. That health bar stays over their head. Honestly, you'd probably want to do something more like along the lines of proximity. So that's just giving you some ideas. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to show you guys? Oh, of course, last but not least, oh, I got a couple other things too, I guess. This full auto beam, this works really well with a turret buddy. I really like, if you go here to my loadouts real quick, there's loadouts that use turret buddy. Now a lot of people are like, God, well, I use turret buddy, why does my turret buddy suck so much? Well, you kind of have to tailor a special build to make sure your turret buddy is going to work right. Basically you want to use, like, let's say a full auto beam with a 1.5 times scope. I think the 1.5 times scope works the best, but it gives it the widest field of range for the longest zoom in, because the higher optical zoom you put on your turret buddy, the more narrow focused it's going to be. So it's going to be like, it'll see really far, but it's going to be like seeing through a straw, and it's like kind of cone of effect is going to be much smaller. So I like to use, I typically like to use beams. This 3-shot beam is pretty decent with this turret. Let's see if we can get it to shoot at some people. So I'm kind of focus firing with my turret. But as you can see, the turret's pretty accurate. It's effing that guy up pretty good. You can do other stuff too with, let's say, the, typically beams. I like beams the most. Beams the most, or silenced ARs work the best for turret buddies. Pulses are pretty good too. I've heard some people like to use pulses. Experiment with different guns and see how effective your turret buddy is. I typically think 1.5 times scopes are the best bet, because look at how far away it can shoot. Works pretty well too if we do, like, let's say a liquid cooling assault. Oops, not 3-round burst though, full auto. Yeah, I really like beams. Beams work really well. A lot of those spooling silenced ARs, those work pretty well. These full auto pyro ARs, those work pretty well with turrets. Beams, ARs, basically beams and ARs with silencer work the best. Rocket launchers, sometimes the rocket knows how to lead. They're more close range. The rockets typically don't shoot as far. I'm not really a big fan of making rocket turrets, but I don't know, maybe experiment, find something you like. I mean, even pulse ones, because the pulse projectiles are kind of slow typically. You can kind of dodge them a little bit easier. I think basically ARs and beams are pretty much the best combos for making turret buddies. But yeah, that'll just give you some ideas using that beam. I think it would work pretty well with this pyro AR. That spooling silenced AR I use would work pretty well, maybe with like a 1.5 times scope. Okay, so but last but not least, one of my favorite weapons, and this weapon has got to be has the most versatility of any weapon in the game. This is actually the remote-controlled agile sticky proximity launcher. And what this gun can do is you can actually attack enemies. And let me kill my turret real quick, stupid thing. You can actually attack enemies out of line of sight. So notice I'm behind this box. I'm like, oh, the enemies are over there. Well, you can actually guide this rocket up into the air and guide a rocket at them and hit them. So you can either just keep flying the rocket first person, fly it right into them. You can fly it right into them, or you can do something what's called RC canceling. Fire the rocket from first person, right click, exits the first person view. You can actually cancel out of the first person view, so you can actually use this like a regular agile launcher. Kind of have to get used to right clicking. And I can't leave this agile rocket for crap. So yeah, so basically you can plant traps, you can plant landmines at range, you can booby objectives or hammer blitz points, doorways. You can fly rockets out of line of sight and put sticky mines in certain locations. So I can just go over here, put a sticky mine in this doorway, and it blows up, even though the timer is kind of a little bit delayed. But you can do stuff like that. Right-click canceling, obviously. Another cool thing about this weapon is you can do spy cam mode. Stick it to a surface, you can just chill here. Now I'm spying. I'm a elite James Bond spy. I'm over here looking at this guy. He doesn't even see me. So yeah, so you can actually use it as a spy. It's going to be really useful in competitive game mode, where you can fly a mine in behind enemy lines and start spying and start telling them what they're doing. Oh, well, they're all up on the right side. They're all on the left side. You can use the RC as kind of a scouting tool. Yeah, so this thing is not only a straight shot launcher, it's mines, it's spy camera, it's a first-person guided rocket. This has got to be my favorite weapon in the game by far, the RC guided rocket launcher. This one is really fun to use. I really like to use Agile because it doesn't move too quickly. If I use Rocket, I can laser guide Rocket pretty well, but even that moves pretty quickly. It gets kind of hard to like navigate tight corridors. So let me see if I can. Oops. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Depends what kind of speed you like. It's a little bit tricky. I like Agile personally. You get a little bit more damage. But this one's good too. This one's definitely good too. Alright guys, I'll just come back on here real quick. This has been Weaponcrafting with Beefy. I'm going to be streaming this game pretty often. Follow me on Twitter to know when I go live. This has been a little tutorial video to kind of quench a lot of your guys' thirst and keep this as a resource for people who are constantly asking me, Beefy, how do you do this weapon? What is your favorite weapon? How do you do this? How do you do that? Well, I just made this video so you guys know now all the stuff I like to use. I gave you some basic explanations about how to use it, what you can pair it with, all kinds of different things. I mean, this game is all about creating your own weapons, but you know, this is kind of the stuff that I feel is like some of the strongest stuff. This is like some of the strongest weapons in the game. There's a ton of weapons. There's a really high skill cap. I can't wait for Annihilation Competitive Season 1 to begin, and the ladder starts with Annihilation. That's going to be really cool. That'll probably come in a month or two, I would imagine. They're probably working on it. But they're going to have a competitive game type for Annihilation, ladders, matchmaking, competitive stuff. All that stuff is going to be in the game. But for now, you know, grind out your weapons, get your blutes, figure out what kind of playstyle you like, and just have fun with the game. I'm going to be doing giveaways on this channel. I'm not doing a giveaway right now because this is just a video. I wasn't really interacting with my stream or anything. This is just kind of a live to tape sort of video. It's kind of just going through all my weapon crafting for you guys. This video is getting close to like an hour and 45 minutes almost, so this has a lot of information, but I mean, this has got everything in it. I just went over like all my builds, just everything I have in my head. I just gave it all to you guys. So go back to this video for the archive. This has all my weapon builds that I like to use. If you ever have any questions about what guns I use, watch this video. It's got everything you need. Thanks for coming, guys. I'll be on in a little while. I'm going to take a little break. Thanks for coming. Stick around, guys. Appreciate ya.
Dodge this. Dodge this. Dodge, dodge, dodge this. Dodge this. Dodge this. you dodge this? Can you dodge this? Dodge this. Dodge this. Can you dodge this? Can you dodge this? Dodge this. Can you dodge this? Can you dodge this? Can you dodge this? Dodge this. Dodge this.